how to set up a Hot Wheels display. Now I'm going to be using both a couple of units of the X-Case as well as some Hot Wheels we have here. I'm going with a collection of my own that is car ships for Hot Wheels. I don't have all of them, but I have enough to set up this display. Also, we'll be using some of the flex iron that we have that you put on we'll put it on some bases, just like you would with other miniatures, and then those would be attached to the car using just something like glue dots. These glue dots make a non-permanent stand for the car that you don't have, so you don't have to keep, so you don't have to glue the wheels down or do any damage to the car, but it'll hold them in place because they'll just be elevated up off of their wheels, and at the same time be magnetized with the flex iron, or adhere to the magnets with the flex iron. Now we do have our magnetic strips right here. This is the magnetic strip that's going to go on the shelf to create a second tier for the cars, so you can put 2 layers into one X-Case. Now you also have the option of just using a thin strip on the bottom as well, because there's no reason why with these all you're doing is putting a single row, so there's no reason why you would have to use a wide strip. So quickly, it's pretty easy to set these up. Now I'm only going to do a few cars here. We have some other ones already set up, and so this will be a fairly quick little demo. I'll take the 3 flex iron here that we're going to put on there. Super glue is my recommended best choice for. Now, putting on the super glue for this flex iron is really nothing more than just putting a tiny strip around the outside edges. It's more than enough to create the adherence you need. Now you don't have to worry about the hollow space on the inside of the base here, because the edges will hold just fine. So we'll put that down to the side here for the moment. I do a couple more. We'll go ahead and I'm just shaving off a little bit of this plastic so it's not sticking up. Now we'll also have these little, this is something that's kind of a common solution that we've come up with for putting miniatures into the case, other than just those that come with games and that kind of thing, because this actually works really well for setting up the displays. It's a nice non-permanent solution if you don't glue your minis to the base. A lot of times people don't want to, they'll have collections of other stuff that they don't necessarily want those to be glued. Also, my son and I are getting into car wars, and we're going to start putting the cars on these little bases too, so that we don't have to glue the wheels. Just something feels wrong about gluing the wheels immobile on a Hot Wheel car. Plus, it allows us to use some cool cars that we like, you know, for collecting or whatever, and not feel like we're destroying the car, which is a lot of times what you're doing when you glue the wheels. So, since we only have 3 new cars here, we're just going to use it. Now, a lot of people think it's sacrilege, I guess, if they're a collector, to open up the box, but I don't think displaying collectibles in their box is all that cool either. Besides, if you're collecting because you like the product and not because you're trying to build a financial empire of collectibles, you know, then you want to be able to look at this stuff, right? You don't want to necessarily be seeing you don't want to necessarily see all this stuff inside the box. Cars are a lot cooler when you're able to just look at them and see them up close. And so a lot of times that means being able to pull them out the case if you want to, or just look at them closely inside the case. Now, like I said, what I like to do here is just put a couple of glue dots right there on the bottom of the piece here, and then we'll just center it in the middle of the car, just like this. There you go. So now the car is able to not roll around while still keeping its full flexibility of its wheels. And we'll do that a couple more times with these other cars. Center it the best I can there. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get all the cars in this particular set. I think there's only about 20, and I think I've got about 10 or 11. Still missing a few of them though, and apparently they're getting harder to find at this time. This is one I had to actually buy off of eBay. This is the Boba Fett car ship. His Slave 1 car. There's so many Hot Wheels to collect if you like to collect those sort of things. You gotta kind of decide which ones that you're gonna focus on. And everybody's got the thing that they like to collect. Some people collect just every car there is. I like to focus on things that are a little unique, and I thought these ships were a unique take on it that actually have wheels on them. Hot Wheels tried to also make, they're also making some ships that don't actually have wheels. They're just the ships like you would get if you were just gonna go buy a different toy from some other company. The Hot Wheels, the whole thing is about Hot Wheels is that they're Hot Wheels. They have tires on them, and these are pretty cool little takes on the ships with a tire variant. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and set up the insert. Now this insert is going to be on our Kickstarter launching next month in October. Now you can get these after that Kickstarter. They'll be available on our website. They're basically made up, they're a modular insert that you can put inside of the cases. So this is two of them stacked on top of each other. Each insert will actually come with 3 bars, so you can actually connect them this way as well. So you can create a whole a nice little shelf on them. The final production versions are going to actually be a little bit taller, just a couple of millimeters taller, which will make them a little bit more friendly to things like Hot Wheels to split the cases, because you're going to want them to be at least high enough for that. Now they still kind of work for that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take additionally a couple of extra of these bases just for the sake of this case, and besides, you kind of want your inserts to stay in place as well, not just your cars, right? I mean, obviously if you're putting them on the shelf, you want them to stay in the case in place. So this little trick should work pretty well for keeping the minis right where you put them. Now I'm going to go with the double single blade shelf, just because there's really no reason to have wide shelves for these. And that's I don't need to use up a whole bunch of inserts for this setup. So now you'll see on these inserts that they actually have a cutout here. Now the back of the X-Case has a piece that comes into the case, so this allows it to go around that if you're pushing the inserts all the way to the back. But we're finding that that's probably not really necessary, since it's actually a fairly uncommon thing you need to do. Now these inserts are the full length of an X-Case. They go all the way back. So if you want to actually put one of these in there, you're going to need to. Now each of our magnets comes with adhesive on it. So you're actually able to take that off. As of course, when you're doing a video, nothing comes off in one piece, because it needs you to take a little bit more time in your efforts. Okay. So we'll put this right here. Just like that. Bug flying around here. So just like that. Now this should be perfectly fine. However, the inserts do come with this additional little divider that you can put inside of the cases. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick this underneath the magnet. You know, it's going to make it pop up a little bit, but what that's going to do is it's going to allow the metal to stay firmly in place so it doesn't sag down. That's what those dividers will be for. Now I'm gonna, just so that I can do additional demos with these until I get some full-on production variants, I'm gonna use the glue dots again, the non-permanent characters, to allow me to do this a couple of times. So we'll just go ahead and stick these right there and right there. So plus it'll give a little extra height to the car. So we'll take the cars now, and you can set them up in pretty much any kind of cool setup that you want. Now I have a few other cars off to the side that I can take here. These are the X-Wing, or not the X-Wing, but the TIE Fighters variants. Got one from the, I think it's the Secret Guard, and then standard X-Wing, and of course we have Darth Vader's X-Wing here, Kylo Ren's X-Wing, just like that. Now, in order to set up the case, we'll just take that, and I'm going to go ahead and make another non-permanent adjustment. So I'm going to use the magnetic insert on top of our metal base. Now the metal base will allow the magnet to stick, and it'll also fit nice and snug on the inside of the case, just like that, so that we can still get the effect of no movement for the magnet. And then we'll just take this and we'll slide that back so the cars go all the way into the unit. I also want to have room for the doors, so everybody's got to slide all the way back. Alright, then we got a couple more of these guys here. Got a couple X-Wing, an X-Wing fighter in there. That will be a pose and just a standard. Then lastly, we will stick the door back on. Now the door didn't have to come off, I was just using it for the light. I have here, you can get these on Amazon They're a little 6-pack of strip lights, 12 inches long. We'll have some information up later to show you which brands and stuff you can get if you want to set up a display similar to this. But they do have little extenders that you can put on the case. Now, you have all your cars in place. You have a nice little display of your Star Wars or your Star Wars Hot Wheels, but this is kind of what it would look like. And of course, the mounting holes in back, you can just build your ship display or your car display, whatever it is, by hanging the cases up on a wall. Rotate this around like that, and turn it. And expand your lighting. Just like that. Now you've got a full-on Hot Wheels display building up, and you'll be all set, ready to go when you're just as a good starting point.